first I want to give honor to God and to the pastor and to Sister Avery for giving me this opportunity tonight. And sometimes you only get one time to get it right, right? Y'all know that, right? A preacher can preach one message. You can always preach one message, but that might be your last message. You know that, right? You know what I'm saying? So this might be my last workshop. But anyway, I just thank God for the opportunity. The information that you have in front of you, once we get to a certain point on the PowerPoint, we're going to break up into 3 groups. I think we have enough people to break it into 3 groups. And so the story that says the obsession reality is one group. The one on the other page is going to be another group. And the one on the back page that says preference driven church, that's going to be another group. So we're going to break out into a workshop of groups. You know, you're going to deal with those topics, whichever, you know, we're going to count 1, 2, 3. All the ones are going to go somewhere, 2, you know, 3, so on and so forth, and then spend some time on that, and as a leadership group, come up with a scenario as relates to transformational leadership. You know, how you would have done things better. All right, so that this outcome that's written here in these stories that are true stories wouldn't happen again. The second form where it says transformational leadership, okay, is questions that you can take home with you tonight, okay? And when you come back next week, if you look at the last page, page 4 of that particular sheet, it's going to tell you, you know, you go online, okay, you can do 1 or 2 things. You can fill out the answers first before you go online, all right, and then just when you go online, just plug it in, or you can just go online and just do it that way. But it's the same question. When you get finished taking that little quiz there, it's going to tell you what type of leader you are. Okay, then you can print that and bring that next week so you can share with everybody what type of leader you are. Everybody got that so far? Okay, and then the last document is a little short story. Who Moved My Cheese? I don't know if anybody read that before. Anybody read it before? Okay, so for those that didn't read it, those that read it, you're going to be ahead of the game. All right, but those that haven't read it, it's going to be some good reading material. And, you know, as next week when we talk about, you know, who moved my cheese, okay, there's always going to be a spiritual relationship to the story. So as you read it, you may not get the spiritual relationship as you're reading it, but once you finish reading it, you know, it should be something that will help you in your ministry, okay, going forward from this day forward, okay? Everybody got that? I don't want to talk about it now. I could say some things and stuff now, but I won't. So we'll do a lot of talking next week on that. Tonight, we have to start somewhere. Okay, and if you don't mind, how many people believe? I believe in just being honest. I don't know about y'all. Y'all believe in being honest and being real?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. I believe in being honest, and I believe in being real. All right, I'm not asking anybody to talk and give anybody's names tonight, all right, because there's going to be some questions and stuff that's coming up, and most of, you know, this is going to be for everyone pretty much to, you know, give some feedback. All right, this is not just going to be me doing the talking. See, I got questions up there that only you can answer. Everybody hear what I'm saying? I have questions only you can answer. Okay, but it's not, you know, we're not doing this, okay, and asking questions for somebody to say, you know what I'm saying, well, David, you know, he was in charge of this ministry and he just messed up. That's not what the question is for, okay? I'm sure anybody who's been in business before, you know how to work a business plan? Yes? Okay, you find out, what do you find out when you're doing a business plan?
Potential.
Your potential, yeah, okay.
Supply or objective.
Okay. So all these things, so all the good things, right? Things and stuff that are good, right? You got to put out there things and stuff that you did bad, right? You got to put out there. It may not be pretty, but it's the truth. And in order to grow, okay, you got to tell the truth sometimes. Well, all the time you should, but you know, you got to tell the truth. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. And again, it's going to be mostly the input from you. Okay, I can make up some stories and stuff from when I was in Connecticut to the questions and stuff, but I think you probably want to deal with St. John's Baptist Church because this is where your ministry is and this is where you have to work. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
Yes? Okay, so, transformational leadership. Okay, the question
I'm
is...
gonna cut the light down some more.
It's up to you.
Folks, you all tell me
You can just do the front, like,
That's good.
that's okay?
Yes,
you can turn this.
okay, so the question is, what is transformational leadership? That's what some of you, I understand, may have went to a workshop already and wrote some of this stuff down, but for those that have not, okay, we're going to answer that question, okay? So transformational leadership is a style of leadership where the leader is charged with identifying the needed change, creating a vision to guide the change through inspiration, and executing the change in tandem with committed members of the group. Leaders and their followers raise one another to higher levels of morality and motivation. So take out a minute if you don't know what it is and just write that down. Okay? And when it says, you know, the leader, you as a leader, you know, you are charged, okay, with the responsibility. And sometimes, you know, we don't take our responsibilities, you know, serious. And I'm just, like I said, I'm being true, you know what I'm saying, because I'm just being truthful. Okay? Sometimes we don't take our responsibilities, you know, serious. We do stuff and we just do it any kind of way. So we don't always take what we do serious. We don't, sometimes we think that because we tell the pastor or, you know, somebody that we're going to, or the president of the group that we're going to do something and we don't do it, we think that we, you know, we escape. You know, but you're not just making that commitment to the pastor or to the president of the ministry that you're in. You're making that actual commitment to God. So just because you can get away from your president, or even if you are the president, you're not doing your duties, you know, this is unto God, okay, that we're doing this for. So a transformational leader is one, again, who has a vision, okay, because in God's word it says, my people perish, right? We're not having a vision for lack of vision. So God will give you a vision. Okay. If your ministry in St. and see, this is one of the questions. Did everybody get finished writing? No? Go back one then. Go back. And when we start next week, we're going to start with this page again. There's going to be more to it, but for today, for all intents and purposes, just write that. So notice what it says up there about a transformational leader, someone who can change through inspiration. You got to be able to inspire someone. Y'all understand that?
Yes.
I know y'all don't know people that's boring. Anybody know anybody that's boring? Boring. Anybody know anybody like that? You know, when you're not inspirational, you know, you don't have the inspiration, you know, to help people and stuff to be excited about what you do, you know, then you have a tendency to not really care. But if you ever notice people that is excited about what they're doing, you know, they get people to chime in and get on the board. And people be so much saying, what's all that commotion about? What they talking about over there? Oh, yeah, all the excitement and people be ready to run over there to find out because most folk nosy. So they go, what's all that excitement about over there? Oh, that's just so-and-so over there. Don't worry about them. Oh, damn, but what they talk, they laugh there for what's going on over there? You know, so you're going to get over there because of the excitement. Okay, so in your ministries, okay, in the working stuff that you're doing for the church, you know, you should have some type of excitement. You should be enjoying what you're doing. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Right? Yes?
I was going to tell you that the excitement that and my enthusiasm, it's contagious. So
Yeah.
so that Pastor wanted to sing that song on Sunday morning,
Yeah.
and that was because of the excitement that I exhibit, and he caught a hold of it
Okay.
and sung. The minister was preaching. Thank you, Pastor.
Okay. Okay, so that's one of the things that, you know, transformational leadership does. You know, if you're someone who is not someone who can be inspirational, you know, and we'll talk about that, like I said, next Monday, then, you know, maybe you're the wrong person in place, you know, and then you put somebody that can do it. Sometimes people get, like I said, we're going to get to it, people get offended by stuff, you know what I'm saying, that you say. And that's okay. All right, it's okay. Because, you know, it's all right. I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, next slide. Okay. All right, if your ministry in St. John's Baptist Church was given a physical exam today, what do you think the doctor's diagnosis would be? All right, so how many people are in ministries? Everybody here is in ministries? Okay, so whatever your ministry is, okay, and if you say you're not in a ministry, okay, you're a member of the church. Yes? All right, so even if you're not in a ministry in the church, you're a member of the church. So we're going to deal with everybody from that stand. So anybody, you know, everybody who has a department, is a ministry head or in a ministry here, you know, if your ministry at St. John's Church was given a physical exam today, what do you think the doctor's diagnosis would be? Is it a healthy ministry? No, y'all gotta answer that. That's a question y'all gotta answer. That means somebody gotta open their mouth. Okay? And that's why I said I wrote stuff up here purposely for people to talk. Okay? And again, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying call nobody's name because we're not here to call somebody's name. All right, to make somebody look bad. That's not what this is for. Okay, this is to come to the realization and reality, you know, where we've come short. And when you realize where you come short, now what do I do, you know what I'm saying, to get up and do what I'm supposed to be doing? That's what this is for. This is not to beat somebody down because you failed or you didn't, you know, do what the Lord would have had you to done, you know, in this last year. Because you're coming up on a new year, am I right? For new elections, right?
Amen.
So that's why this is important, because if your ministry is healthy, and guess what? Pat yourself on the back. You're doing a good job.
I would say that mine is slightly sick.
Okay.
Mine is administration.
Okay.
Both myself and Deidre have resigned for next year. That's slightly changed. But I think we need a boost of some sort. We need to have some better goals and be able to achieve those goals so that we can be renewed spiritually.
Okay. And I think, again, you know, between, I would say like next week, you know, when you read that story, you know, Who Moved My Cheese, that's going to be very helpful, you know, in that particular situation. Okay, anybody else? So we only have one ministry here? Yes?
I'm going to say health, and Wilma helped me out, Ms. Hudson, but I said very sick or dying. And when I say that, there are 4 of us. We find ourselves doing many, many things. There's so many things we want to do with health and for the church, but it's finding the time to organize it and do it. Not that there is no interest, but time.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am?
Well, I guess if you're looking at different ones, I mean, I'm involved with 4, and 3 of them I would say are Peacock, and 1 is absolutely dead. And I think the reason for that is because I'm putting so much time and to the others that I don't have time to get this last one up and running.
And again, this is, you know why this is good, being honest, you know, because maybe you have not had an opportunity to sit down with the pastor, okay, to let him know why, you know, your ministry is not healthy. Why is it dying? Because I'm sure as a leader of the church, you know, those are questions that he has in his mind, but he has other work and stuff to do as well. So he may not have had time to sit down with you yet, one-on-one, you know, to find out these things. Anybody else? That's about, what, 3 or 4 ministries that spoke so far? Any other ministries we have here in the church?
I would say the hospitality guild it's healthy, but I feel like we have some voids there. I think we need a little more planning on some of the things that we do, but we get along very well. And I love that group. But and then in charge of the Busy Bee ministry, we're not dying, we're dead. Because our purpose was removed from us. We were a ministry that we would plan and we would have means of meeting goals within the church for things we want to do financially. And we can't have fundraisers anymore, so therefore, we're dead. We're dead because we can't function.
I concur with Ms. Hart on that.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would say intercessory prayer ministry is healthy because when we come together, it's not about us. It's about others that we are praying for, and we leave all of the outside. On the outside, when we come in and pray, our main objective is praying for people that don't even know that they're being prayed for. But we come together as a group, we all have the same agenda, is that we have been chosen. I really believe God, because of me, that's how I came to be an intercessor. God laid it on me and gave me that passion to want to do that. And I feel that the others that are in there, for me being with them for over years, have shown the same thing. So I would say that ours is healthy. We can, always do more, but I would say as of right now, I would say that the intercessory prayer ministry is a healthy ministry.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would say that the marriage ministry never got off the ground. And Jimmy and I were just saying the other day that we're going to try it again. It was because of lack of participation. But we need to reach out again and see what we can do with it.
I just want to piggyback on what you said. I think lack of interest, lack of knowledge, because you have been married 25, 30 years, you have become stagnant in the way of your lifestyle. Some people accept whatever's going on in the marriage. That's it. But the marriage ministry is not designed to help improve, to give suggestions to improve what you're doing in the marriage. Your marriage doesn't have to be in the verge of breaking up. See, a lot of people look at it the wrong way, and it's just ways to improve what you already have, and that's the main thing. And of course, we've had some training. We had lots of resources. We have videos, everyday life types of things. It's just that the interest is very poor. You know, we went through it just like we were starting out with a new business, how to establish a new business, and we put all this stuff into writing, and it just wasn't there because people think that, oh, I don't need that. You know, so education, I think, is the key to that. you know, you think you know what you don't know. So you can't go any further than that. You think what you know, you good. You don't need anybody else to reinforce what you already have. So that's just
and again, like I said, this is all good. Some of y'all might think this is not good, but this is all good. You know, because like I said, hopefully at the end of this workshop, you know, you should have some input and some new ideas, innovative ideas and stuff to help those ministries. You know, so this is good.
Well, we're involved in the singer ministry, which is just about the opposite of what Jim and the wife were doing. And our ministry seems to be thriving pretty good. We're not in.
So is it healthy, slightly sick, very sick, or
healthy?
Very healthy.
We're not trying to encourage our ministry.
I'm just asking. Okay. So that's good. Anybody else? Okay, we have somebody talking.
Christian Ed, and I would say we're somewhere between slightly sick and very sick. We are like doctors and nurses running around, doing what we think needs to be done, but we're pretty much putting Band-Aids on things. There are some serious problems that need to be addressed, and we haven't been able to do that.
Sir, I don't want to be argumentative, but I disagree with that singles ministry being healthy.
No, that's not my question. My question is if you're
I think it's very sick.
Yeah, okay. So that's the answer. Okay,
that's
good.
What I'm saying.
That's all I need.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all we need. All right. Anybody else? Like I said, I don't want to get into, you know, names. And that's not what we're here for. No, I know, but I'm just explaining because I know you understand. I'm just saying it so others can understand as well. All right, we don't want to, that's not what we're here for. I'm saying if we're here to beat up on each other, we're not going to go nowhere. Okay? To be honest, listen, they say it takes a man or a woman, you know what I'm saying, to be honest. You know, when you do wrong. Everybody do right. When everybody does right, yeah, they stick out their chest. Yeah, I did right. I'm right. I know I'm right. You know what I'm saying? But when you do wrong, you don't do nothing. It's hard for somebody to step up and say, yeah, I messed up. I did wrong. Everybody's not easy to do that. All right. So again, the whole purpose of this is to find out where we are. You know, if we're healthy, guess what? Then you're doing a good job. If we're sick, then we gotta, like you said, we gotta find out, you know what I'm saying, how to get healthy. If we're dying, then hopefully, if some of us, they said, who said we're dead, I don't know, Jesus gotta come back and resurrect those that's dead. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you're dying and you're not dead, then there's some hope for you, okay? But if you're dead, then we had to call on Jesus for one of those miracles, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And be resurrected. Yes,
and sometimes, if it is dead, it may not need to be revived.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, that comes through your leadership, you know, and again, that will come with you and the pastor, you know, as to the vision that God gives him. You know, yes, ma'am?
Well, you know, I guess what was just said just now indicates that it depends on who you talk to in a ministry, whether they think it's healthy or sick. Right. And it has to do with whether people are feeling their needs are being met in that particular ministry. Some people may be totally happy, some may not be. But that's still an issue that's got to be dealt with.
That's correct.
You know?
That's correct, because it's right. It depends on who you ask the question to. That's true. Okay? All right, so let's move on. Okay, why do many church members in church ministries, in dying churches or dying ministries, fail to see the decline in the health of the church or their ministry? Does anybody understand that question?
It's so gradual. Don't like change.
All right, so people don't like change.
It's so gradual that just let it go.
Yeah, it's gradual, so that it just kind of like seems like the norm, right?
Some people could be in denial. I mean, be in denial of the situations that go on in the church. They're in denial.
Okay, next question, or next slide. All right, growth in the church may come rapidly, but decline is usually slow. This slow erosion is the worst type of decline for churches because the members have no sense of urgency to change. And that's what somebody said. See, y'all are on the point. Y'all are on the point here. Y'all doing good. They see the church on a regular basis. They don't see the gradual decline. That's what Mr. Joshua was saying. That is taking place before their eyes. The decline is in the vibrant ministries that once existed. The decline is in the prayer lives of the members who remain. The decline is in the connection with the community. The decline is everywhere in the church, but many don't see it. Many ministry leaders or church leaders stop looking at the numbers when they begin to decline. And when numbers are ignored, they tend to get even worse.
Yes.
Y'all understand that?
Yes.
So Sister so-and-so misses church this Sunday. Okay. That's one person that didn't come. Last week we had 100 people starting out. So now the next Sunday, one person missing from the church. Oh, that's just one person. Look like we got everybody here. I think there's maybe just one person. Oh, that's only one person. And the next week you may have 5 people. And that's 6. You look out. Oh, well, you know who didn't come this week? Brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so didn't come this week. Oh, yeah, they didn't come. Yeah, I think, make a story, whatever y'all want to say. Okay? That's 6 gone. A month later, maybe 15 people. But it still looks good, you know what I'm saying? Because it's still close to 100. So what you see with your eye, you're accepting that. But you don't see and you don't realize the decline. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay? You don't realize the decline because to you it's normal. It's the normal. It's normal. Okay, people miss church. That's a fact. Okay, they do. But if they're not sick or whatever, they have a tendency to come back. And before you realize it, it could be 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You say, well, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, they're at this church over here. What? Because somebody was not paying attention, to the decline of the church. And you have to stay focused. I mean, you got to be attentive. You got to see what's happening, and then go to make changes. When Jesus lost, he said about the sheep, when they lost one sheep, what happened? He went to get him. Left the 99 and went to go get that one. God's not trying to lose people, but we take it for granted. We just take stuff for granted, and oh, they're not here. And then before you know it, they're not coming anymore. And then what do you feel about that? Once they're not coming, well, they're at another church, so now you ain't even gonna go try to talk to them. They'll try to come back, And then when you go ask them, when you do meet with them and find out, you talk to them, well, why did you leave? Well, I left because nobody don't care about you over there. I was gone, I was sick, whatever. This is, the pastor can't do everything. A lot of times we like to blame, we like to do that blame game. Y'all know the blame game? We like to do the blame game, okay? And the truth of the matter is, God puts us all here to do the work, okay? When God lays something on your heart and you don't do it, now tell me this, has God ever laid something on your heart and you never did it? You ain't got to raise your hand, but I can raise my hand. I can raise my hand, all right? So when God lays something on your heart, all right, and you don't do it, you think that when you don't do it, you think you're going to get away, right? You're going to answer to that. You're going to answer to God for that, okay? Because God laid it on your heart that was somebody that you were supposed to go talk to or witness to, okay? But you failed to do it, okay? So you're going to be held responsible as leaders, okay, for what happens and what transpires. Okay. Yes, ma'am?
I was just going to say, years ago, in the old churches in the country, there was no telephone most of the time. No, I mean, I don't know how the communication happened, but if there was a person missing from the church, people would go and find out. The deacons, as I recall, would go find out where was Sister so-and-so, Sister Jones, Brother Jones. They did it, and they didn't have all this modern technology that we have today. And those people came back. They came back because, you know, I guess they figured that somebody cared. See? They don't care how much you care, what is the expression? I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care.
Okay, but again, that's seeing the decline in what used to happen and what's happening today.
It's not happening.
Okay? All right, so what are some reasons why a person seek or accept offices in the church? Okay, everybody here is going to be running for office, right?
Sometimes they get drafted.
That's true. That's what I say. All right, so that's one reason sometimes they get drafted by who? Who they get drafted by? Their peers? The pastor or their peers? Okay. What are some other reasons?
Some just want to be leaders.
Some want to be leaders, meaning what?
Just want to be in charge.
They want to be, that's what I need to say, because we're talking about leaders here. All right, some people just want to be in charge. Some people just like to be in charge. The HNIC, that's all. Some people just like that. It's good to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be honest. See, y'all don't like to be honest. It's just good to be honest. And y'all know who those folks are, don't you? I ain't saying call nobody's name. Did I? No, don't call nobody's name tonight. All right, any other reasons why people seek offices?
I think sometimes people see a need and they feel that they can do something to meet the need. And I think when we look at our roster of officers at the beginning of the year, there are not a lot of people who do want to be in charge because there are often an awful lot of blank spaces. So there are not that many people here who are carried away about being in charge.
Right. Okay. And I think I pretty much just
I'm going to say, you may have people that come in for one particular reason, but they don't assume the full responsibility that that position entails. So they want it for some of the reasons, but not all of the reasons. But when you are installed, that means you're accepting all of the responsibilities for the leadership of that position.
Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Some people are leaders because you be in a ministry and nobody wants to be the leader. So everyone is sitting around when you say, so we need a chairman and a co-chairman, and everyone's just sitting around looking at you. And I know that experience. I was put in that position once, and you have to delegate somebody.
And again, that's the way things happen, but is that always good?
No.
It's not always good.
It's not good if you have to take in, you ask and no one says it, so then you have to make someone do it when they really don't want to do it. You know, or they do it grudgingly and say, well, I'll do it since you can't find anybody else.
Okay.
Several people will also choose to be a leader in a ministry because they're a leader in another ministry. It's a perpetual snowball effect. If you have the experience as a leader in this ministry, you may think you're good in this, but that's not necessarily true either.
That's correct. Okay, so I wrote some of those things that you guys already said. You know, true desire to fulfill that position because of a burning desire within. You know, some people, like you said, have that desire, you know, that I can do this. You know, I believe the Lord is calling me to do this. So some people have that burning desire within, you know. And second one, the position looks good and everyone obeys what the leader or the president says. I like that. That's what he said right here, you know. Yeah, if I take that position, you know what I'm saying, all I gotta do is speak. You know, if they, I'm the president. Did you hear what I said? You know, some people just like to be in charge, you know. That's it. They don't want to do the work, but they want to be in charge, you know. So that's just the day and time that we live in. I mean, this is not the first time it happened. It happened for years. So it's just people. Okay? All right, the pastor asked me, and I'll do it. So the pastor will leave me alone. Some of y'all probably say that, right? Yes, all right. But no, and that's just not here only. You know, that just is anywhere. You know, and the last one, no one else wanted to take that office. So again,
Amen.
the office has to be fulfilled with someone. So they put a body there. You know, so again, you know, it is what it is, and that's just being honest. You know, and that's what we're dealing with. You know, but it would be beneficial if everyone was on the first one. True desire to fill that position because of the burning desire within. Because if you have that burning desire within, then you're going to do it, you know, to the best of your ability. Okay. All right. Oh, this is a good question here. Y'all like this question? What are some reasons persons in office, when it's time to leave office, now we're getting ready to the end of your cycle, right? People get ready to leave, right? All right. Whether being voted out or not asked to return to that position, or their tenure has come, are upset and disgruntled. Why? Y'all understand the question? Because I'll break it down if you don't understand it.
Some people take it personally.
Okay.
But they take ownership of the ministry, and then if they're voted out or whatever, they take it personally, like it's, you know, they take it offense to it. Like, well, maybe they don't like me, or they didn't want me there, or something like that. So I think personal feelings have a lot to do with this disgruntledness.
Okay. Any other reasons? Yes, ma'am.
I really think it's a sign of failure on their part.
Okay.
And some may feel that no one else can do it.
Right. Everybody hear those reasons? Any more reasons? There's more reasons.
They're comfortable.
Comfortable? There's more reasons than that, you know. Y'all.
Well, they might think that they work so hard at trying to keep the group or the office on a certain climate, that if they leave, then it's going to lose the contents of which was already put there. But they fail to realize that if there's someone else that can make it more progressive in ideas or change the paradigm which was already set before, they don't look very well towards it.
Right. Anybody else?
Well, if there's resistance to change, whatever their style and way is, that is the only way.
Right.
And if someone else comes in, you know, what they've had is going to change.
That's correct.
I have a question. Well, maybe a statement. I think in some cases, we need to have tenures where we don't have tenures. We have people that stay in something for 20 years as the leader, and it does not give the natural progression a chance to happen. I think that is unhealthy in a ministry.
Okay.
People have a tendency of feeling rejected when they have to leave certain duties or work that they've been doing, and they're asked to move out or whatever. So rejection could be an issue there.
Okay.
Even if it's not rejection, it's a void, something that has kept them going for a period of time, and now that piece is gone. There's an emptiness, and they don't know how to. I think some people may be afraid of that emptiness, and how do I get into something else and make that feeling a fulfilling feeling.
Okay.
In some instances, excuse me, some instances, You say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because within a ministry, if you're not happy with your governing per se body, I don't want to say governing, but the persons that are in office, they will have to accept the fact, and it's obvious that, hey, you're not doing what we thought you were going to do in this position. So yes, we're going, we're going to run, ask somebody else to run against you or take that position. But there again, I go back to if they ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're satisfied with the way your ministry is being run, accept it and move on. If not, you have the right to voice your objection.
Okay, does everybody agree with that? Yes?
No, I just think in some instances, the leader just enjoys, maybe just enjoys what they're doing, enjoy that power, and they don't want to relinquish it to anyone else.
Okay, all right, because to, again, everything that you have something to say?
Yeah, I think she basically.
Okay, because I'm saying everything that everybody's saying is good, and true. There's some other realities to, what was being said too as well.
You must have good leaders, but you surely must have good followers too. Yeah. And a lot of people don't want to, if they are in a position of leadership, they have to be led by God, maybe I put it this way. They're led by God in order to really fulfill what listen, the missionaries are all about. If you have a good leader, then usually people will not mind following the good leader, because you got to have, just because you're a leader, you got to have followers in order to get anything accomplished.
They should have followers.
No, you must have.
You should have followers.
In order to get anything done.
You should have followers. All right? How many, and I'm asking this question, anybody been in the office and stuff and people supposed to be followers and they don't show up?
That's right.
That's why I say you must have.
Yeah, that's why I say you should. They're supposed to be there, but they're not always there. Okay? But again, just to comment, just a little bit, and the reason I'm saying that there's some good, and it's probably later on, I can end up talking about it later too, but what happens if you have, a group of people in a group who are all buddies?
No.
And you come in, you got, God gives you a vision and says, we should do something this way, but, you got people in the group and stuff that says, man, don't pay them no mind, man, it ain't broke, don't fix, don't fix it if it ain't broke. Well, and some people said before, because we don't want change. It's been working this way for the last 50 years, you know what I'm saying? So we don't need you young whippersnapper, you know what I'm saying, to come in and telling us what to do. You know what I'm saying? You wet behind the ears, you know what some people say. I ain't say y'all. Some people say that. You know what I'm saying? You gonna come in here and try to tell me something. What? So again, that's I think I probably put some things and stuff up there.
And what happens to
all right, because they didn't do anything that year to grow their ministry. All right, so this is one reason why people, when they're given to leave office, okay, they get upset. Because if they got voted out, listen, somebody find me this scripture right here and just read Genesis. Anybody have a Bible? That's a silly question. That's a silly question. All right, Genesis, the 4th chapter, the 3rd through the 7th verse. All right, somebody read that, okay? Because, like I said, many of you have already answered the question, but again, I'm going somewhere with a point, all right? Because some people, when they leave office, if they get voted out, if you get voted, just be honest, if you got voted out, you ain't gonna feel happy. Who do you know gonna skip? I got voted out. I got voted out. gonna do that? Huh? Anybody do anybody? I don't know nobody who's gonna skip talking about, I got, what's wrong with him? I got voted out. No, you're gonna be Jack George, you know what I'm saying? Your lips gonna be hanging and the whole 9 yards. You know, if you get voted out, that's not a good feeling. You know? So anybody have a scripture? I don't want to do it. I want the scripture to do something to talk. Anybody
I
have?
have it. Nobody has it. You got it?
Anybody who has it, just read Genesis chapter 4, the third.
Can I read through 7?
3 through 7.
In the course of the time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. And Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it."
Okay, did y'all hear that? Maybe, do she need to read it again? Did y'all hear that? Huh? Cain and Abel. Right? One gave God of the first and the best, and the other one just did any kind of way. So if you get voted out, it ain't because you did something good.
Right.
Y'all need to hear me. You know what I mean? Like I said, people get mad. See, I don't know y'all like that, so y'all can get mad at me all you want to. See, that's why it's good for me. I can say stuff because y'all say don't let the devil come back in. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? I won't be mad at you either, you know. But if you did a good job when you're the president, like somebody said before, what? They're going to vote you back in. Why? Because you were a good president. Okay? If you didn't do anything, and we're talking about a business, the church is a business. Y'all know that?
Yes. Yes.
So if you want your business to grow, on your job, everybody has a job, well, or had a job. If you're retired, you had a job. Okay? But on your job, if somebody didn't perform well, did they stay there or did they get somebody else? Huh? Why you come to church and get mad? When they do the same thing to you in the church, why you get mad? When you go to your job and stuff, you're away from the church, you go to your job and stuff, and they let you go. Oh, man, you know, they let me go. Why they let you go? Man, they let me go because, man, I was supposed to do this, man, and I messed up. I didn't do that. And, you know, did you your fault? Yeah, it's my fault. But get to church, right? Man, they fired me. Man, you know what, man? They ain't voted me out. They no good anyway. You know what I mean? That pastor, yeah. They got with that pastor, that deacon got with that pastor, or that sister got with that pastor. No, I can't stand them.
But and then they take other people with them when they leave.
Exactly. You know? And so, but you don't get mad on your regular job. You understand on your regular job, if you don't perform, what? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But in the church, you want to make a difference. Okay? Y'all want to say, well, Jesus is love. So, they can't do that to me because this is the church. No, sir. The church is a business. Okay? And not the way that the world does business. Okay? But there's an order. God has an order as well. Okay? And so if you do your job, if you do well, you know, you will be voted back in. And if you don't get voted back in, then you got to check yourself and find out, how come I didn't get voted back in? You know? Because maybe it is you. Look in the mirror. Could be you. Okay? Okay, because they don't want the newly elected officer to do better than they did. Some people, and I think we got a scripture there too. So somebody look at that scripture, look, find that scripture while I talk for a second. When you find that scripture, then let me know and I'll stop talking. Okay? Yeah. How many of y'all know that some people get jealous over people that comes after them? Huh?
Jealous is terrible.
Y'all don't believe that, do you? Y'all don't believe that. Some people get jealous. Oh, they're gonna give Brother Rich, they're gonna make him the president. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he think he gonna do, man. I've been doing this man for 50 years. You know what I'm saying? I know, you know what I'm saying? He can't do like I did. He can't do like I did. I'm telling you right now. You know what I'm saying? He can't do like me. There ain't nobody like me. I'm the only one like me. You got the scripture? Okay, here comes the scripture.
John 14:12. Very verily I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father.
All right, you heard that? Who said that? Jesus. What did he say? Greater works than the works that he did. Y'all, do you believe that Jesus did great works? Huh? And what did he say in his word? That greater works. Did he say that we can do less than him? Huh? So y'all don't believe everything you read. Y'all probably skip right over that verse in the Bible. All right, but the Bible says greater works than these. And everybody can attest that Jesus did great works. Yes? Y'all believe that? Okay? And so he said that you can do greater works than what he did. But see, some of y'all don't believe it. That's the problem, see? Some of y'all don't believe that you can do greater work. So what am I saying? Okay? Everybody is here for a season. Okay? You can only do but so much. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Did Moses, what did Moses do? He bring the people out of Egypt, right? Out of the promised land. He bring them what? So far. Did he go into the promised land? Huh? He's a great man. Here's this great man, Moses. You know what I'm saying? President of the moving club, you know, president. You know what I'm saying? You know, he leads the cavalry out of Egypt. Okay? But God says, you know what? Because you disobeyed some things that I told you, I'm not going to let you go in, but I'm going to let you glimpse the promised land. So who took over it? Okay, Joshua. Okay, so Joshua actually went into the promised land, not Moses. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? You get my point? Y'all ain't getting my point. I'm gonna get a point. Y'all ain't getting it yet. Okay? Y'all get my point? Huh? You can only go but so far. You do the best that you can do while you're in office. When you get to a certain point, somebody else is going to come and take over. Whether y'all believe it or not, that's going to happen. If you die, guess what? Somebody coming to take it over. So you can try to stay there all you want to, but dead is dead. If you think you can show me first, then you know, if you can come back alive and be the president of your ministry, then y'all come on, you know, show me, because I haven't seen anybody yet. But again, you can only do what God has assigned for your hands to do. And you should do that well. Knowing, all right, good, newsflash, all right, somebody think that I'm the greatest, nobody better than me, but the word says greater works than these. So you may be great, but guess what? There's going to be somebody that's going to come along and do something better than you. Yes, ma'am.
This may also be a reason why some of our ministries are dead or dying, because we have the leaders who are not producing and they're business as usual and nothing's happening. It's not the case in most of our personal ministries. I think we do real well as a church, but there are some ministries that they're floundering because their leadership may be dying. So that's something we all need to take a personal look at ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I bring up two, whatever we are good at, that one or two talents, but we have people that are on 5 or 6 or 7 ministries, all right? Because they want to help out because of lack of participation in those ministries. But what they're really doing is not only cheating themselves, but they're cheating the ministry because you spread yourself too thin. You understand what I'm saying? So even though they mean well and to fill in the void, they're not doing God justice, and they're certainly not doing themselves justice.
Yes.
I guess it's the same way that it is in business, 80-20. 20% of the people do. 80%. All right.
Yeah.
Same thing. If that's true, because you have so many people with apathy or complacency. I mean, they join the church or whatever organization, and then they become complacent. They don't, and they act as if they're doing it for the pastor of the church, when in actuality, they're actually supposed to be doing it for God. They get mad at the pastor and then they leave, or they get mad at the pastor and then they don't do what they're supposed to do in any of the committees or organizations or ministries, and then it becomes defunct because no one is doing it. But they're not doing it for the ministry. They're doing it for God. And they're losing sight, Reverend O'Neill, they're losing sight as to why they are in these ministries to begin with. Whether it's the choir, whether it's the missionary, even the deacon board, or whatever ministry it is in the church, they're losing sight as to what they are doing and for whom they're doing it.
So you think that sometimes we've been in these offices and status quo, we don't realize that we're not being progressive or we're not doing changes. We've been doing it for so long, and I've done it this year, did it last year, and we are at a flat line. And then when we get disgruntled, if we are voted out because we've been just doing things the same way the last 20, 30 years.
Anybody else? So just know that, all right? Just know that, you know, if you're the president of whatever said ministry, you know, you give your best. You do your all for God. And don't think that you're going to be the only one. There could be a kid, you know, your grandkid or somebody's kid now that's growing up that's going to take your place and do greater things than you do. It could be somebody that's not here today that's going to come and do greater works than you do. So don't be mad because somebody's going to do something greater than you. You can only go so far and do so much. And then God's going to bring somebody else or allow somebody else to come on the scene and stuff to take the mantle and keep going. You're not here forever. As much as we want to be here forever, you're not going to be here forever. You know, and even so, you know, if that happens, you know, we should be willing to help that person. Some people, you know, get mad, jackjawed, and then they stay in the back.
Watch the programs make mistakes.
There you go.
But while we are here, we should give God all we have.
That's
while
correct.
we are here in these ministries, whatever your ministry is, give God all you have.
That's what
He
we
gave
should.
us all He had.
Yes, and
So
that's
we
what we
give
should.
Him all we have.
You're right. That's what we should be doing.
I agree. Give your best to the leadership of that ministry, but also understand the purpose of that ministry and what it's in place for. And you have to bring in the feelings of the group and then go forward. But giving all you have and going in the wrong direction is just as bad as not giving all you have.
That's true. All right, and again, I'm glad you said that because again, like next week we'll deal with, you know, how to do those things and stuff that you're talking about. But like I said, we're just trying to, you know, clear the air and get these things out because this is reality. This is for real. This is what's happening today here. Okay? And like I was saying, sometimes you get people, like we started to say, you know, who sit back and They mad because they got voted out, you know, and they don't realize that it's somebody else's turn. So it's like the glass being what? Half full or half empty, right? So you could look at it this way. If you get voted out, you could look at it the way that some people do. Oh man, they got rid of me, man, and talk and stuff like that. Or you can say, you know what? My time has come to an end. It is now time for this person to go forward. I'm going to do everything I can to help them. You know why? Because what happens? Along the way, when you started, did you make any mistakes?
Yes.
Yeah, you made mistakes, right? So instead of them having to make those same mistakes that I made coming up, you know what? I'm going to be right there with them. And when they get ready to make that mistake, I'm going to tell them, don't do that, honey. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been there and done that. I made that mistake. You don't have to make that mistake. Do this, and you'll be able to succeed, and you go further faster than I did. Okay? But some people don't want to do that. They want to see somebody fail.
Yes.
That's the wrong attitude.
They have the last laugh.
You know what I'm saying?
They
Right.
even have the last
You
laugh.
know, and that's the wrong attitude.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but those are reasons why people get spread on.
The reality at this church, as far as our ministries, most of I know personally, are concerned, is we have apathy. Nobody, there's people who want to get voted out, but there's nobody that'll move up. So I think there's a few people who would want to be voted out. It's time for a rest. But you're not going to see them step down when they're concerned that no one's going to pick up the mantle and carry it forward. And so you feel a responsibility to that ministry to stay in that place and do what you know best. It may not be best, but you stay because of apathy of others. We have so many ministries right now that they have half of their offices not filled and have been all year. And we're getting ready to go into a new year. We've got entire ministries that have been inactive for 3 years. So ours is more of an apathy. I'm talking realistically of this church. I know what you're speaking of, but I hope we are going to address some of those types of problems.
Because I think, and if we don't ask the question next week, but I think, you know, when we talk next week, you know, those solutions is going to be in the transformation of leadership.
Right.
Okay? Because again, you got to be what, excited about what you do.
That's right.
You know, excitement gets excitement. You know, people want, what's all that commotion going on? You know what I mean? But if something's dead, you know, who wants to be part of it? You know what I mean? So again, you know, we'll hopefully get to that next week. Okay, new liquor officers start out excited and happy once they are installed as a new officer of said ministry. You know that? That's going to happen again this year. When somebody gets newly installed into office, that's going to be the happiest day of their life. Like the president now, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be so happy. They just started out, you know, for whatever ministry that they have. Okay, what might be some reasons the fire burns out of the newly elected ministry head so quickly? Yes.
But we didn't do it that way before. And not accepting changes from each person had his own agenda. And we didn't do it this way before, and so therefore you're going to tear him down or her down because they're not doing it the way it used to be done.
Yes.
Okay, that's a problem, but that's true.
Not having defined goals. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, you find that a lot.
And those are things, again, we're going to talk about next week. You're good. No, I'm glad that you guys have mentioned this because these are all things that we're going to deal with next week because that's part of, you know, transition leadership, you know, is having goals, you know, knowing where you want to go, getting people excited about where you want to go, letting them buy into what you're trying to do. Okay? Yes, sir.
My point is that if you have a service and your service is relying upon supportive service, somebody under you support, and you're not getting the support that you need in order to keep going. It's just like a car. You run out of gas, you don't have any money to get gas put in there, the car not going anywhere. So therefore you need your support service to continue to fuel you and to keep you going. Exactly. Not only with monitoring things, but also with suggestions. Hey, you're doing a fantastic job. You like what you're doing. Can I help you do something else? So this makes a big difference in encouragement. If not, that's why they burn out.
Okay, yes, sir.
I think what can happen is you see the reality of a false expectation of what you're getting into. You might have a zeal or a burning desire to do something. Like, for instance, we're in a church. So you may think you're about to get your hands dirty, you're about to go do a lot of work for Christ. And then you may get into a situation where it's a high level of toxicity. There's some grudging attitudes, and you get into a situation and you think you're getting into one thing, you're expecting to go in there and do for the Lord. You're in church. But then you find out that it's business. So your goals and your expectation of being excited and having a zeal to do what you're here in church to do, you find out that this is just a business.
Lack of effective communication.
Okay. And again, everything you guys are talking about, we're going to be dealing with next week. I just don't want to comment and answer because we're going to deal with those solutions to a lot of things you guys are talking about. Anybody else?
No, I just think, I think some leaders try to do everything themselves instead of delegating and working with the entire group. And because of the president, you know, I'm the boss, so I do what I want to do. And you find out it's more than they anticipated.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just say the same thing, delegation. The person either doesn't delegate because they're so insecure or because they don't have anybody to delegate to. You know.
Can we keep it real? You delegate, but then the person you delegate to doesn't take the time to complete the task. So you're back at trying to get the task done.
Okay, so these are all true, realistic reasons why people, when they get into office, you know, they're excited and they start out, you know, wanting to do, but all the reasons that you guys said, I don't want to just name something because somebody said, well, my reason wasn't good. You didn't say my no. All the reasons that everybody said is all good, okay? Next.
Another good one was if you're not given the proper tools to work. You have to be satisfied in order to proceed.
That's true. Yes. Okay, so raising remnant. Okay. A raising remnant of Jesus. This is let me see, how should I say this? This is for somebody's benefit. You know, this is, I added this, okay? I added this for your benefit. Now this is not gonna affect everybody. So you know this, you know what they say about the fish? You know what I'm saying? Eat the meat off the bone, but spit the bones out. So if this don't have nothing to do with you, don't be mad at me. I'm just telling you what I'm going to give you what the word says right now. Okay? So somebody, while I'm talking, look up Haggai, the first chapter, started the second and ninth verse. All right, so don't get mad. Just spit the bones out, okay? All right, but this is I wanted to help somebody. All right, 'cause this don't affect everybody, but this do affect somebody. And I don't know if they're here. Did I say they was here? I didn't say they was here. It affects somebody, but I don't know where they at, Pastor. But just in case they're here, I'm trying to help somebody. Okay. All right. So a raising remnant of Jesus had returned to Jerusalem after a long exile. They returned to the devastated town, but they began to rebuild. Their first order of business was to build the temple, the house of God. They began laying the foundation, but they stopped working on the temple and began working on their own home for their own comfort. And so, for a decade, they did no work on the house of God.
They lost their focus.
Okay, now, watch this. All right, so during the course of the year, ministry stopped working. and go home and leave God's work undone. Same thing, right? Now let's see what Haggai has to say. Somebody has it? Let's see what Haggai has to say. Maybe he got something to say about that. Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord of hosts, these people say the time has not yet come to rebuild the house of the Lord. Then the word of the Lord came by the hand of Haggai, the prophet. Is it a time for you yourselves to dwell in your paneled houses while this house lies in ruins? Now, therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. You have sown much and harvest little. You eat, but you never have enough. You drink, but you never have your fill. You clothe yourselves, but no one is warm. And he who earns wages does so to put them into a bag with holes. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the hills and bring wood and build the house, that I may take pleasure in it, and that I may be glorified, says the Lord. You look for much, and behold, it came to little. And when you brought it home, I blew it away. Why, declares the Lord of hosts? Because of my house that lies in ruins, while each of you bruises himself with his own house.
Did y'all read that?
Busts himself.
Did y'all heard that? Did y'all understand what she read?
Yes.
Huh? We start off doing God's work. I'm trying to break it down in case somebody didn't understand it. And if I don't break it down good enough, then maybe somebody else can break it down better for me. All right, to help me. But we start out in our ministries, okay? Like I said, you're not just committing to the pastor, you're committing to God, okay? There's a work that has to be done, it needs to be done in God's church. And we are the people, the hands that God allows to do these things. God blesses us with homes, cars, all the amenities and stuff of life that we need. God blesses us with these things. But he wants us to do what? What he asks us to do and called us to do. So sometimes we get the little chip on our shoulder and we're going to go home to our homes up on the hill. But we ain't got to see the church and nobody from the church. I'm going to fix them because I'm going to stay away. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. So what happens is, okay, you left God's house alone. You started working on God's house, started building God's house up. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, you stopped. And God said, you know, you left my house alone. My house needs to be rebuilt. But you left it. And you left it to go to your home. Okay? To take care of your home. So because you did that, see, we forget sometimes who blessing us. We forget sometimes who blessing us. See, so here's the extra little part that I was saying. It's probably nobody here, but this is the extra part in case it is somebody, right? Anybody? No, maybe I shouldn't ask that question like that. Let's see.
Say it. Keep it real.
I'm keeping it real, but I want to say it nice. Okay? Anybody know anybody? How about that? Is that a good way to pose the question? Does anybody, not at this church, but maybe at another church, okay? Does anybody know anybody who every time, they used to have things going on, but now every time they turn around, everything they touch, the car is broke this week, they get the car fixed, then something goes, the TV goes,
refrigerator,
you know what I mean?
Washing machine.
Washing machine, whatever. Oh man, I just got the money and stuff like that, and oh man. I had a pocket full, I'm broke this week. Anybody know anybody like that?
Yeah.
Not at this church, but I'm saying anybody. Okay? People who have started out doing stuff for God, okay, you left God's business alone, okay? Somebody might be wondering, why they always got problems? How come, you know what I'm saying? One thing, I turn around, it's this. Last week was this week is this. Why?
We forgot God.
Okay? Check yourself. Think about it. And like I said, I ain't asking nobody to tell on yourself. I mean, I'm not asking nobody to tell on anybody. Okay? But check yourself. There might be a reason why, you know, you can't hold on to anything. Because you start out doing the work for God, and then you left God's business alone to attend to your own business.
Yeah.
That was the action note for somebody. All right, if you know somebody, you can give them that scripture. Okay? Okay, now, all right, we're going to take, can we do 15 minutes? It's almost 7:30, but if we take the next 15 minutes, okay, and let's just go, let's see. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, so the people in the ones is going to be in one group. All right, people in twos are going to be in another group, and people in threes are going to be in a group, okay? Is that all right? All right, so we'll start with Jasper, and we'll come down.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
3.
Dave?
2, 3. 1, 2.
Oh.
1.
1. 3, 4, 1.
1,
2. 1.
1.
1,
2.
3.
1, 2. 1,
3.
3.
1, 2.
3.
1,
2.
3.
1.
Okay.
Well, you see how difficult that is?
Yeah. All right, so all the ones, if you look at your first form, all the ones is going to take, you just move in the area together here. You're going to take the preference-driven church. All right? So all the ones just come together. Okay? And you're going to do the preference-driven church. It's on the back side. Okay? All the twos are going to take the session realities. See it in your sheet right there? Did everybody see it? It's in your packet. It should be the first page on your packet. First staple page. Okay? Okay, and so the second part of the on that page where it says obsession reality, the second page going to the right. All right, the threes take that one. Okay, everybody got that? So you got to kind of move all the ones, move to one area so you guys can discuss. And what you're going to do is you're going to discuss what's happening there. Okay, and as leaders, all right, you're going to come up with what you would do differently so that this outcome does not happen. Again, everybody understand that?